Greetings. Just finished a major project in my tech center. Still got some stuff to work on. Still got to do the crown molding, the trim around the sides. But this was a major accomplishment for me. And I'll show it to you right about now. Alexa, turn on the Tron ceiling.
Okay.
Check it out. Just some very, very minor tweaking that I need to do, but for the most part, it is done. Alright, so let's talk about the tech center and what I've done. So the Tron ceiling, plexiglass, paint the bottom of it white, let it dry, paint that same side black. In other words, the top side of the panels are clear and you have high gloss white. Do not use mirror. I try to mirror like a mirror finish like silver. Doesn't work as well as high gloss white, so use high gloss white. Then once the black is dry, you can mount it. I've used a combination of magnets and hooks, like the high-powered magnets in various spots and hooks. Actually, this is like a key point right there that I've just electrical taped around, and that's one of the when I can actually remove a good portion of the ceiling if I need to access it up there, and that's just done with magnet. Philips Hue lights. Philips Hue lights drive the whole basement. That's what started me off on this obsession. It's like Philips Hue lights are seriously like heroin. You buy one and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then a few minutes later you have 20 and your credit card bill is like through the roof. They are not cheap, but they're pretty awesome. They probably could come down to $30 a bulb, and that would be somewhat acceptable. But right now they're like $50 a bulb as of this video, so kind of pricey. I got a Philips Hue lights up there, and then one in that corner, and then one in that corner, and then one down there. And I've got mirrors, tinfoil, and the secret ingredient, wait for it, parchment paper. Parchment paper that you actually put in the oven. You put cookies on it to cook stuff in the oven. Get yourself some generic stuff. If you buy the high-end stuff, they literally plaster their name on it, and some of the lettering bleeds through. But if you just get parchment paper from the grocery store and you rip that in sheets, then that helps diffuse some of the areas that you could actually see through. Then the next is if you go to Home Depot, and I didn't secure this one. This is corner molding that the people, my fellow white trash brethren, they put this on the corner to help the corner not look like crap, and in the process they make the corner look like crap. You're better off just repairing the corner every 6 months than putting that crap up. But so anyway, you buy that, it's clear, and then you spray paint it with frost. Spray paint, it's frost, like where you would frost glass, like a glass window. You spray it, and then that diffuses it. Does a really nice job. You can that's that right there. Then for the bottom side, I take a router and I just router out a small channel down the plexiglass. I buy 8 foot by 4 foot sheets, and then I rip them, and I rip them into rectangles. Try to keep the lines going in rather than have them go like that. Try to keep the pattern so it flows. For me, this was a closet. There was a wall here that I smashed down. There was a wall here that I smashed down, and the door was actually right here. And I wanted to create a little mini room. Those bar stools they're here But ideally what I'd like to do is get a lounger that is made out of plexiglass, although the price is like obscenely expensive, and then build a integrate the Philips Hue lights into it. Trying to find a cheaper solution than buy one of the things. This is the basement. It was a drop ceiling, so this had this stuff here, which I hated, and then with the virtual reality base stations here. I'm 6'4", so whenever I put my hands above my head, I would hit this drop ceiling. So I wanted to raise the drop ceiling, so I got plywood and I ripped it into these planks, and then spread them, tack them up at odd shape, breaking up the pattern, and tacked them to the rafters. For the drop ceiling to have access to all the stuff you need access to, my plan is to have the crown molding actually be the drop ceiling, where I'll have either with magnets, which I don't know, I'm getting a little, like, I have a lot of magnets in this room right now, and I'm thinking maybe I'll step it down a notch because of the Wi-Fi signal and whatnot. So I'm thinking, I'm trying to come up with different solutions, like Velcro, but to have the crown molding just be able to be tacked up there so that you do have access to run lines if need be in the future. For areas like this, all I have is just screws that are basically the same color as the tent, and you can unscrew it and then access the panels here if necessary. Let's see, what else? The back wall here, this is a problem child for me right now because I had used really industrial strength glue, and given the weight, it's actually pulling away. So I want to rivet it. I don't want to rivet it, and I do want to rivet it. My plan all along was to have rivets. I wanted it to make it look like the inside of a unfinished aircraft, and I wanted to do the rivets up this. But then after I put it up and I saw the clean look, I'm like, hey, clean's kind of nice too. But then, of course, given the weight, this is aluminum flashing that you use for like aluminum siding that they use to like bridge gaps and stuff, and I just use it as wallpaper basically. This is a false room. What was here before was this. There was a wall that came down to about here and a doorway, and then that went into a bedroom, and the wall came to about here, like just about there, and then it came across. And that whole area there was a massive closet that was in that room. So I cut it out and smashed down this wall and smashed obviously this wall, and then put up the tech center. What else? Oh, the shelving here. I took NSF shelving and I hung it sideways, and then took the brackets and painted those and painted it, and then took aluminum tubing and cut it in just to get like a kind of weird zero-G look. And I wanted to be able to have the metal look here, so that if to keep the wires up as well as give it that distinct look. The feature here is my three daughters. Everything, basically, if you look around this room, 3 is integrated. Well, if you look around this entire house, landscaping, from the waterfall, having 3 sets of waterfalls to this, everything, I've been blessed with 3 and 3 daughters, and so I try to integrate 3 everywhere. So triangles, like I try to incorporate triangles everywhere. So there's triangles, you get the idea. So you got PVC pipe that I saw online, guys doing it. My routering skills are a little shaky compared to, I guess, some of the artisans out there. Took the Philips Hue lights, mounted it in the bottoms of each, and then the lights I have right now, I just have it on a disco effect for the music. Over there is just a bloom. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of the Philips bloom. I guess if you're in an apartment, it would be okay. Rather than putting any major money into demoing anything, you know, and you could just have it the way that is, and that works well. But I'd rather just go with a straight up Philips Hue light, and then you have the versatility of if later you need to use it somewhere else, you can. The Philips strip lights I put up here, and I ran them up, and the idea there is that when there's an app, and it's called, let me show it to you. Right now I'm using Hue Disco on the Android. This is the Asus tablet, and basically that's all I use this for right now. Is that, but it's called Hue from Display, and you take this and you point it, turn the app on, and you point the camera towards the TV, and then you can individually assign each light to a color that that camera is pointing to. In other words, if that area right there is green, I can make that light green. If that area is blue, I can make that light blue. So if you're playing video games and you're running through a field and the entire field is green, you know, you've got a green field, the entire room goes green. And then what I do is I assign this side to that light, and then I assign that side to that strip there, and it works really well. I had bought the, I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of the name of it. It's evading me right now. And the problem that I had here, let me show you the, you know what, I got that locked up. But I am getting a phone call, so I'm going to have to punch out of this.